Fight fans, welcome back to Carl Prusa MMA. Today, I got a special guest for you. My guest getting ready, fighting July 31st, going to New York for the PFL. She's taking on Dakota Ditcheva. She's Miss Denise Kielholtz. Denise, good morning. How are you?
Yay, good morning. Good morning. Oh, yeah, for us it's afternoon, but I think for you it's really early.
Absolutely. You're out there in the future. We have a fight here in a couple of weeks. Excited? Getting ready to do your thing?
Yes, I'm really excited. Like this is a big fight and a huge card in New York. Like everything is big. So yeah, if the stage is big, then you know what to do then.
It's kind of crazy. You've been doing martial arts for so long. You've been competing over 20 years between MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing. 20 years ago, this sport globally was nowhere near what it was today. Women weren't even competing in high levels until 10, 15 years ago. When you first started getting into it, did you ever imagine it to blow up to what it is today globally?
No, not at all. Like this is not a coincidence, but 3 days earlier, I had an interview. I had the same question. Like when I started with kickboxing, I didn't even know that women can be that big and have a big stage like that. You're doing kickboxing and you just want to fight. But now, how the evolution of women fighters and how the world is accepting that is just amazing, and that is such a big difference than when I first started this whole journey. And look where we're standing now, like the co-main event in New York.
When you first started getting into this, do you have any stories maybe back in the day fighting for promotions in a bar or a restaurant outside? Anything kind of crazy or different than what we do today?
Well, I don't have crazy stories, but I had a story that because some people, they will ask, okay, fighters, do they earn a lot of money, But I think that if that's your main goal, then you don't have to start getting it. Because in the beginning, you start for free. I fought a world title and that was for free, like a couple of tables. And I give the tables to my family. So that was totally for free. So money was never the main goal to get more money. But nowadays, it's unbelievable.
That's a question I ask a lot of my regional guys on the show is people are looking at the big names. They see the fame, the fortune, the glory. When you're battling on the regional scene to try to make it to the PFL or the UFC, I mean, you're not making a lot of money. You're staying up late. You're waking up early. It's hard to have a relationship. It's hard to have kids. All of your eggs are in this basket maybe to get to the next level. For you, How do you stay motivated through that climb?
Well, like motivation was never like a big deal for me because I know that like martial arts is really something that it's in my heart. I already started with judo when I was 9 and I never ever left the sport till now. So I know that martial arts is like in my soul. So a motivation is not a real big deal for me. But now that I have my son, that comes so much more with it. And I never even knew that being a mother, because if I go back to the time, I always said, like, if I'm a mother, then I'm stop fighting. But now that I am a mother, I know that his part in my life is so much more value, so much more motivation than ever, because I know that now everything that I do is also for him. So yeah, being a mother is like the fire is so much more on. I do everything I do with so much more passion, so much more straight, because I know that I'm not doing it for myself only, but I'm also doing it for him. So yeah, my son, he is really like at now my biggest motivation.
For you, do you feel that fighting is more mental than it is physical?
It is like in the beginning, if you have talent and like then everything goes with the flow, but then comes like the obstacles, and I also read a book like Obstacle is the Way. Like those obstacles, how do you deal with that? And I think that's the biggest part to deal with those obstacles is mentally. So sometimes I think that fighting and being in fight camp is like 60% mentally and 40% physically, because this whole journey, if your mental is not okay, if you don't feel it in your soul, then the whole training or your whole journey will be different. So mentally is really a big part of this whole of the whole fight camp.
You know, when you made your transition from kickboxing over to MMA, you obviously fought for Bellator, had an amazing run in Bellator, fought for a world title there. What was your experience like with that promotion?
Really good. Like Bellator is still in my heart, you know, like I had so many beautiful experience over there, like in my kickboxing career, also in MMA, you know, like fighting on the biggest stage, fighting for a world title, but also being the world champion in kickboxing. So Bellator is always and will always be a big part of my love for any kind of promotion in fighting.
Absolutely. You know, now over with the PFL doing a little things different this year. They're getting away with that tournament format. There's rankings now. What do you think of this new facelift, I guess you could say, for the PFL?
Well, I think it looks good, you know, and also in my division, you have a lot of good women, also a lot of good fights. So I think like good fights is making also the division more vulnerable for everyone, you know. If everyone talks about the division, then the division gets more exposure, and I think that the fighters in that division will do better. So I think I'm really happy, and I see what PFL is doing is really a big part of the whole woman MMA, you know. And being in the ranking and climbing myself up again, that's the goal right now.
Absolutely. So you're getting ready, going to New York, taking on Dakota Ditcheva. Overall, what do you think of her as an opponent?
Well, first of all, I have a lot of respect for Dakota. You know, I've been watching her also because we're both stand-up fighters. We're both strikers. So I also really love strikers in MMA. You know, because before they always said, yeah, strikers, they have no chance in MMA. But look at where we're standing right now. You know. So seeing Dakota and watch her journey is really like all the respect, you know, and also what she do in the cage, but also beside the cage, you know. She's a really good example of woman MMA, you know. She's beautiful, she looks beautiful, and she fights like a beast. So yeah, I think so. I only have respect for her.
Do you think your experience, do you think that could make the difference in this one?
I think experience, of course, but I think also that she never fought someone like me, my fighting style, and I think that's why this fight will be really like explosive and a lot of action and a lot of, you know, I think the audience will be the big winner that night, and seeing Dakota fighting, you know, and seeing her also like winning the tournaments, doing really big things in MMA. That's only like an example of the best opponent and the best version of yourself to take with you, you know, because if you're fighting someone, a really good opponent, that makes you also better. So I know what to do, and I know that Dakota, she is like, I seeing her as the champion, and beating the champion, you know what your status will be.
Absolutely. You know, this is a very interesting contest because when you look at it, you really see a full circle effect for martial arts here. For you, obviously starting 20 years ago, you had to climb all the way to the top. Women's MMA wasn't at a place where it wasn't put in big promotions. Now you have someone like Dakota Ditcheva who's full-blown superstar right now, comes in, all the fans, has the platform already. When you look at this fight, does it really show the evolution, I guess, of the sport and the growth of it?
It is. That's why I say, like, I only have respect for her, because how you see how women's fighter, the evolution of women's fighter, how it grows in all those years. You can only watch that and have like enjoying that journey, you know, because you're also on the train. And seeing her being an example in MMA, and also as a woman, you know, being classy, showing her feminine sides. That is what I also like. So yeah, Dakota, she's great.
Absolutely. Being a fighter, it's like a roller coaster. You have high moments in your career, you have low moments. For you, how do you think you have grown and evolved as a person from competing in martial arts?
You know, like in kickboxing, like I won a lot of fights. I only have three losses, and those three losses I make it right in a rematch. But then you come into MMA, you know, and then you see like, hey, I am the kickboxer, I have my black belt judo, but MMA is totally different than all those things that I learned. And I think that those fights that I lost, that made me like a more better fighter than I am today, because winning is good. Winning is good for the ego, is winning is good for your record, is for everyone good. But if you look at inside and that fire, and besides the ego, you see also things that you have to work more on. That is only that you can see in a loss or in a fight that you don't do well, you know. So my fights that didn't went well, that's also the fights that learned me a lot, and that's what I take with me. And that's also something that, you know, like what I say to young fighters: don't only look for your record, but look your fights, like every fight, like what you see, and don't see it as something that that you don't, because losing is also part of the game, you know. And losing, coming after a lose and coming then for a win, that's the best thing. That's the best feeling than ever than winning, you know. So yeah, it's also very, very funny, because I fought a girl, and she was also she never lost a fight in MMA, and after I fought her, she lost. But I send her a text after the fight, and I say, don't be too bad about it, you know, because this experience that you're now feeling and coming after that with a win is making the win so much more better than all those wins you ever had. So don't be sad about it, you know. So that's also with experience that you can tell other fighters, you know. It's not only about seeing and doing great, it's also what you feel here, and what you feel here is making you a better person and a better fighter.
Absolutely. You mentioned being a mom now. Overall, what do you want your son to take away from this journey you've been on?
Well, I hope my son, and I will teach him also, because that's why he's also my biggest motivation, you know, because when he came, I never ever thought that I can be with my life that I had before, being a mom and being also with my mentality that I have, sometimes a little bit selfish, you know, if you are a top athlete. But I never experienced that I could be a mom also, taking care of someone else. But being with him here is making me now so much more that I appreciate the moments, and I want to teach him, and not only say it with words, but I want to show him, like in 10 years from now, that look at your mom, you know, like when you came, you choose me as a mother, as a fighter, because I'm still a fighter then. You choose me, and look what I did when you come, you know. Like women, we can fight for something. We still can fight for a goal. We still can follow our heart and still be a fighter in everything we do. And that's what I also want to show him later. And also when he, I hope in 30 years, but when he find a woman, you know, I hope that he also find a woman that's with straight and with the power to believe in herself and fight for something that she really loves to do. So everything now that I do, I have in my mind, like, I want to show him, and I want to show him like more than being a mom and being taking care of him, but also what I do besides taking care of him, you know, and that's follow my dreams.
For you at this stage of your career, what's your goal?
Well, before, you know, like, you always say, yeah, I want to be a champion, I want to have the belt. But now I just I'm still enjoying this journey. And also after this fight, then another fight, every step that I take, every training that I do, the journey that I take, I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy the people. I want to enjoy my opponents, like experience the feeling of seeing everyone and being in the fight game, because I know that I'm not going to fight forever, and I never say that I want to stop with fighting, but yeah, now I'm 37. I think I don't want to be 50 when I'm still fighting. So yeah, that's the last kind of years that will follow right now, And then those last years, I want to have fun, and I want to be better than I ever before, and just leave my gloves over there. And I would say okay, this was such a big part of my life, and the last stage was the best, the greatest of all.
Do you think when it comes that time that you stop competing, do you think you're still going to be involved in some aspect of martial arts forever?
Yeah, for sure. Like me and my husband, now we have we just bought a really big building here, also in Amsterdam, and that's going to be for youth. So youth that are like having problems when they were younger or problems at home, they can come at that place, train. We will be like a big sister, a big brother, like a mother, like everything, but we want to give them a house, a place where they can feel comfortable. And also what we do, like how martial arts taught us everything that we know and everything that we even enjoying. So giving that to the next generation, and also people that don't even know something about fighting, that's also something that in my future plans are there.
For you, what does it mean to call yourself a martial artist?
Well, martial art, because especially here in Holland, like kickboxing is really popular. MMA is now coming up. But when you say also, when I go to the doctor, yeah, what you're doing, and I say mixed martial arts, but then they also mixed martial art, what's that? And that's just everything that has to do with fighting, and everything coming on the ground, coming with obstacles in your life, coming with losses, coming with doubts. Everything, also mentally, but also physically, going really hard in training, have pain in your arms or something, but still go through it and fighting for something that you really love. That's what martial arts is. And I'm really proud of being a part of them. And that's also a big part for me in my life.
Absolutely. All right, Denise, last question for me. In a perfect world, what is the outcome July 31st when you travel to New York, take on Dakota Ditcheva?
Of course, what I say, like shock the world, a win for me. Mama Dynamite is coming for the win, and I just, winning, losing something or whatever. But the only thing that I know for sure is that the 31st of July in New York against Dakota, the best of the division, I will leave everything in that cage right there. When I enter that cage, everything that I feel in training, like this last part of fight camp, and I did a lot. Everything that I do, I'm going to leave it there in the cage, So I will fight till the end, and I will fight in my heart for my soul and for my son.
Absolutely. Well, Denise, thank you so much for taking time out of fight camp. I know the fight's coming up, and I really appreciate it. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really nice. Really nice. Cool interview. Thank you. Thank you, Carlo.
Well, that's it for us today. I'm Carl Prusa. She is Miss Denise Kielholtz. You can watch her July 31st, PFL New York, taking on Dakota Ditcheva. Don't want to miss it, fight fans. Take care.